welcome back to my channel. My name's Mwila and I am so happy that you are watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. Today, as you've seen in the comments bar below, we're going to be reviewing The Girl with the Louding Voice, okay? I'm going to be telling you 5 reasons why you need to read this book right here. So without further ado, let's get into it, okay? This book was written by Abi Dare. This is her first book. So I don't know if you are watching this, but you did this. You did this, okay? Without spoiling it, you're going to miss out if you don't read it, because it's one of those ones where it's like, you know, when you're watching, I'm trying to think of a show that had me on the edge of my seat, like How to Get Away with Murder.
That's how you get away with murder.
And you're just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my... Literally, that's what this book was doing to me. And I don't usually get that when I'm reading something. Let me just get into it. Reason number 1, why you need to get into this book. Adani, the main character. The author writes this character so well that I literally felt like I knew this girl. Like I felt like I could picture her. I felt like she was my little sister or my little cousin. And you become emotionally attached. You're like, okay, I feel like my mind was just going and going, like, what's going to happen next to her? What's she going to do? How's she going to get out of this? Is she going to get out of this? Like, it literally makes you think of all these different things. I was just blown away. I loved it. I loved her. I loved Adani. I still do. I love Adani. I love Adani's character. All the girls who are like her. I was just in awe, literally. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2, okay, the way the book is written. Now, the only reason why I love the character is because of the way she wrote this book. This book starts out in broken English. And so I think that's one of the main reasons why you feel like you know her, because you see her English start to develop as time goes on. And as you can gather, it's about her almost finding her voice. And the discovery of her finding her voice, there's moments in the book where you think, oh my gosh, like, what does it mean to be articulate? Like, that conversation starts to come into it a little bit as well. And I've never actually read a book where it's in broken English. This is the first time I'm reading a book like that. And I thought, wow, like, the words brought her to life and her circumstances to life. And it really, there's certain points it made me cry. Like, I was reading it and tears were falling, and I literally had to put the book down for a good 4 or 5 days. And I was like, I cannot go on, because I felt it in my heart. And I was just like, wow, like I felt so bad for her at this one certain point. And when you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it just made me feel like, oh man, Adani, man. There's actually a few points. One point in particular that made me cry. But there was another point that made me feel like, ooh, I really can't stand the men in this book. That brings me on to reason number 3, yeah? I spoke about character development of Adani. Character development of all the people that she's around, that are involved within her story. That's something also made me think about the power of women's voices and the importance of, you know, women's voices. Well, even though it's not something new that I thought about, but it was something that it definitely evoked that emotion of, like, you know, women empowerment. And I just wanted to root for so many of the women, well, for her and another woman in this book. Oh no, maybe, and 5 other females in this book. There's some females in the book where I'm just like, I don't like you. I really don't like you. But one in particular, I did feel sorry for her at the end of the book. However, I still was like, you're still not that nice. But I can see how your voice is also powerless. And so, you know, the theme of the book is her finding her voice, but it also touches on the fact that like all these other women's voices are kind of lost in patriotism and patriarchy and this world where, you know, women's rights are not as valued, you know, as it would be in other places. So it does bring up a bigger conversation about that. And the other people in the book and their stories and their character developments, like in the blurb it spoke about Rebecca, just thinking about Rebecca and her as a character and what happens to her and even the uncoming of like even the secrecy behind it at the beginning, and it's just like, whoa, what is going, like it just so much, it's like so much.
You did this for what?
Why? You know, but it brings to light the importance of like why women's voices need to be heard and need to be spoken and need to be voiced throughout all of society. Reason number 4. So Adani, this isn't really a spoiler. She starts reading a book called Facts of Nigeria, and each chapter, well, not each chapter, but a lot of the chapters started off with a fact about Nigeria, and it would kind of give you an insight of what was to happen in the book based on that fact. Very refreshing, and it brought this like, not lightness, but it brought this understanding of the times. This was, I think it's based in 2003. I was going to say 2013, 2003. You think, wow, this is happening in 2003, which isn't that long ago. That was 17 years ago. And yeah, 17 years seems like a long time. But when you think about certain things that should be developed, like female voices being heard, this shouldn't be as much of an issue as it is in the book at that time. It links the severity of the timings and the events that are happening in the book based on the facts that she's reading as well. And the 5th and final thing that I liked, child, once I finished the book, and as I mentioned before, I was reading this with my book club. Once we finished this book and we started like talking about it, and even just myself like reflecting on the book, I just thought, wow, there's so much of a bigger conversation. And it's a bit of what I've been talking about, you know, in reviewing it. It really speaks on so many things that need to be changed in certain societies, in our society. And it makes you think about like, you know, how some people react to certain things in a different light than others. And how even like, you know, how I was saying there was a certain character that female that I didn't like, but also how her suffering was the reason for her being the way she was, for me not liking her, you know, without spoiling it. But yeah, and it also makes you think about language as well, and how I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but like how English, and this is one thing that Adani in herself starts to reflect on, and like the importance of English. And if you're articulate, does this mean that you're intelligent? Does it equate to the same thing? And her kind of journey in figuring out, actually, no, that's not necessarily what that means. It's nice to see how
A few moments later,
she comes to that conclusion. It's nice to see that. And yeah, I love this book. I really do. And I really hope you do read the book. If you want me to do another review, just telling you just giving you all the spoilers, letting you know what happens in the book, let me know in the comments below. And I'll probably do one of those. And yeah, I hope you have a good day. And yeah, please like, comment and subscribe. Bye.